Alright, but don't forget, while this entire MPL playoffs is happening in MYSG, we still have the Make-A-Wish campaign.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so if you want something, you want anything, make your wish and dreams, well, I can't say dreams for sure, but we can make a wish
Dreams come true.
Come true. I was thinking of the song, so I got
Dude,
distracted for half a second.
Make a wish come true, make a dream come true. Very simple. I wish to be a better MLBB player.
Ooh, I'm not sure how Munsun's gonna figure that one out, but I'm sure they'll come up with something.
Yeah, but that's pretty much what I'm saying. This is how big of a deal this campaign really is. You can pretty much wish for anything as long as it is MLBB related. Even with people who's involved in MLBB, like if you want to play a game with LaFell, go for it.
Yeah, I want a Lamborghini with Gushin along the side, you know? Not
That's still MLBB, yes.
It's still MLBB. Wait a minute, hold on. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, how far can you go with this?
That's why there's no conditions. There is no conditions. You can wish whatever you want. But let's be honest, if Moon2 sees something that's ridiculous or redonkulous, they're gonna be like, yeah, let's not let this guy win.
I don't know. Knowing Munsun, it feels like maybe they might go out in Yorn, or maybe they might be able to get something really, really crazy. I can't wait to see. But coming up to this matchup, it's time to look at both intro videos for both of these teams. So let's have a look to see these fierce competitors go head-to-head in an epic battle.
Secara jujur, objektif kami sebenarnya mencapai upper bracket. Dan kami memang tak jauh pun daripada segi poin. Walau bagaimanapun, kami tetap akan berusaha untuk capai kejayaan kami.
Larikan diri, boleh ke nak lari smart? Kisah semua sakit.
Memang banyak orang cakap yang tim Bosskurr ni very lucky lah, bernasib sajalah dekat regular ni. Memang hampir kita orang memang tak dapat masuk ke playoff. Tapi saya sebagai player tim Bosskurr, saya masih confident dan saya yakin yang tim saya ni masih boleh berikan yang lebih terbaik lagi kat playoff ni.
Tentang damage yang ada, jadi Kaiser retreat mana?
The lower bracket is very unforgiving. Kami tidak boleh relax dan pandang rendah langsung pada lawan kami. Kami akan all out tak kira menentang tim mana sekalipun.
Saya memang bersyukur, tapi kami mesti lakukan prestasi yang lebih baik. Dan saya harapkan supporter Bosskurr boleh bagi kami peluang untuk menebus kesalahan diri kami.
Rap, habis ini kan darah. Top potato, mencari tempo zone play. Kupas.
Boleh cakap eksperimen ini berjaya, tapi ini hanya satu permulaan. Minta maaf Bosskurr, kami pasti menang.
Saya yakinlah dengan regular season ni, dengan mengekalkan poster dan chemistry kita orang kepada Orange Delivery, korang boleh cuba lagi masa depan.
Tidak baik atas mereka total menggunakan tempo zone play dan apabila sudah tempo zone play.
Man, that was absolutely intense. Coming in between both of these teams, Lourve Esports versus Team Bosskurr. A fan favorite for quite a long time, for multiple seasons as well. Lourve Esports coming in with one of the, I believe, the first team that comes in with Indonesian Paradox. So it's pretty much like a hybrid team here. A combination, a collaboration between both countries here in Malaysia. I'm really excited to see how well they can go throughout this playoffs.
Yeah, it really is going to be a true test to kind of see whether this hybrid can even work, especially in a league like ours. But let's look at the team lineups for both of these sides. On our left, we have Orange Lourve Esports with their members HYHY, GG, Abe, Nothing to Say, Kuja, and Ace.
Just hearing all these names and amazing plays coming from all of them as well. Most importantly, Kuja as well, who really started popping up towards the later weeks of the regular season as well. I get it, sure. New teams, definitely the early part of the regular season may not be as rough, was quite rough for them, but towards the late play, they were totally just fine.
But let's talk about Team Bosskurr here with Kaiser, Fakes, Sakura, Scott, Parisai, and Skewpaws.
Oh, I love how you drag the name just to make it right. Sakura.
Hey, you gotta make sure you're saying the name.
Yeah, that's right, because that's pretty much why we are casters, right? We gotta say it perfectly as well, but of course, Team Bosskurr has been doing a really great job. I will never doubt them again, especially after that one game that literally this just shows that you shouldn't bet on stats, okay? But
yeah.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is your playing lineup for this third game of the playoffs here with their most picked hero and their hero stats. And just look into the mix as well, I'm gonna keep my eye on the prize, and that's gonna be Kuja here with the Balmond. So far, with his side lane or fighter lane here, he's been really popping up, especially with the Balmond. I dare to say he's actually the Balmond king because by far he's the only player that spams Balmond the most compared to the rest of the players.
It is a little unfortunate that Balmond has kind of, lost its touch because they did take away a little bit of his wave clearing potential, which
A teeny bit.
Yeah, well, enough to make sure that it's a little inconvenient,
Spin to win, right?
Spin to win. So now most people have reverted to going back to Uranus, which again, Kuja it's not like he isn't familiar. He has dominated games with the Uranus as well. It would just be exciting to see him play something out of the ordinary, give him a Yuzong and let's see what he can do.
Definitely for sure. But moving on to the next team, we have Team Bosskurr with their lineup. Very curious to see who's going to be playing inside this third game of the playoffs here. It's going to be your players here with their lineup, with their most pick hero, and their total KDA.
Yeah, and this is their overall what it needs to be for the team because they really struggle, and you can tell by the KDAs that not exactly the best KDAs in the world. I mean, the Khalid 522 and 20, not the best to be looking at. 522 and 20 as well. These guys just really just etching it in to make sure they got into the playoffs. I mean, we saw the regular season. It was a real fight there.
Yeah, I mean definitely for sure. And of course, like if the three members in the middle actually had 522-20 as well, then we have a bingo.
You just had to. I can't stop looking at it now. I can't unsee it anymore. You just have to ruin it for me. But no, obviously, thinking of the idea of looking at stats, right?
Yeah.
Let's look at the overall stats for both of these teams based on the games that they play. Because Lourve Esports, I mean, they have some pretty good-looking stats considering that it's only 16 games played compared to 21.
I mean, you also must understand as well, like the entire time, Team Lourve Esports has always been just grouping up, looking for as many fights as possible because the majority of their lineup composition has always been team fight-based competition. But either way here is your player head-to-head stats between GG and Fakers or Fakes.
Yeah, and no, it's fakes, dude.
Fakes.
It's fakes.
Fakes. we're both from another game. we know someone else from another game title, but so we're gonna call him Fakes.
Yes. So, I mean, looking at the KDAs, it's obvious that one has slightly better than the other, a little indifferent in Des. Average gold is going to fall into GG's hands, as well as average kill participation. However, the results seem to be standing on its own, that Fakes is able to pick up a lot more.
Because you must understand at the same time that Fakes, although yes, the farming is not as clean or as focused compared to GG in this case here, but Fakes has always been ensuring that he pretty much just tells himself like, I play Roger, right? What is my role as Roger, right? I'm really great in this early game. Mid game, I start spiking up. Late game, I start falling off. But you rarely see Team Bosskurr really ending the game super late. You always see them trying to close things out through that mid game. Hence why you see him getting a lot more kills compared to how much gold he actually supposed to be earning.
Yeah. Now let's look at where everybody is predicted to go on either side of the map. Coming in from the blue side is going to be Orange Lourve, E sides with GG in the jungle, AIM in the mid lane. Nothing to say is there's support HY in the gold lane and Kuja in the EXP lane.
Oh man, honestly, it's really tough to say where Fakes is going to be as well. Like yes, if he does play the Roger, he will end up going to the jungle. But there were some games where he actually went to the goal lane, mainly because one of his teammates here, Kaiser, actually went. I forgot was it Kaiser or Scott actually went for that jungle Hellcat or the jungle hero. So it's still this map prediction of course is not set in stone. It will always change depending on the lineup composition or the heroes that has been picked by their personal team captain inside this drafting.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right here because when it comes down to it, if you really are unable to play a particular hero at its maximum efficiency, then it's better to give it off to somebody else who can. And if you fill another role, it's still kind of, they're pro players. They know what they're doing.
I mean, yeah, definitely for sure. They definitely know what they're doing, especially since this is already the playoffs. They've already been going through all kinds of competition as well just to get themselves all the way back here. By the way, this is a beautiful notification to you guys because get as many viewers, get your friends, get your family members along to just to watch these views. just to be a viewer inside the stream, because the more viewers you get, the more amazing prize you're going to be able to get for yourself. And literally, starting from the very bottom for 30k, we're moving all the way up. If you think 50k is the maximum, you're dead wrong, because we go all the way to 120k. That's the highest one we're going to be willing to go. And I believe with all of your help as well, we will be able to achieve that milestone.
So if you have friends who like to play Mobile Legends and kind of like getting skins, this is the place to be watching out, have the stream open, maybe enjoy some pro games while you're at it.
Yes.
And I mean, you might just get a skin.
Yeah,
well, I say skin, but like
you might just get a skin, and at the same time, you can also prove a point that LaFell's, his predictions is so on point.
Well, that's going to be the ongoing gag from here on out. But yes, we've got 24 seconds before the game is about to start, and I can't wait to see what the draft is going to be like for both Orange Lourve and Team Bosskurr, because both have its own distinct styles. I mean, especially for Orange Lourve, they really like picking up the Farsa, really like having those dedicated mage supports. And now that, the jungle has been introduced here, it's going to change things up a little bit more.
I mean, definitely for sure. Everything has been changed, but they had 2 weeks. 2 weeks of an opening for them. So let's see how they go as we jump into the first drafting for this game number 3 between Team Bosskurr and Team Orange Lourve Esports. And of course, Orange Lourve Esports is going to be starting on the blue side, so they have first pick and first ban, and instantly getting rid of Natalia for good reason, and at the same time a respectful ban since Parasite played a mean Natalia in one of the games during the regular season.
Yep, Natalia is going to be taken off the board, and Team Bosskurr, on the other hand, they're going to be getting rid of the Barat as well. So, okay, natural for Team Bosskurr, no big surprise there. Orange Lourve Esports definitely giving a lot of respect to Team Bosskurr here, but coming into the second ban, what are they going to be looking for? Are they going to target the off-laners here? We've seen quite a number of teams ban out the Yuzong as well as the Khalig, arguably.
Yeah, I mean, definitely for sure, because remember as well that Team Orange Lourve Esports, majority of their players is actually Fighter Lane's course, although yes, they have adapted themselves and already proved that they're actually a very strong team, just exactly what we already anticipated towards the last week of the regular season. But now, let's see how well they prepare for themselves inside this playoffs.
Yeah, and now Team Bosskurr, they've been given the opportunity to go for a ban. For the second ban, what am I thinking here? Are they going to be looking to get rid of these, mage supports, the natural Farsas, potential Hellcurts? Are they even going to get rid of Hypercarry? It's a little hard to tell, but hopefully it gives us some direction of what they're looking to get or draft into.
I mean, you also must just think into the... Oh, actually, I was about to say, like, they would have banned Farsa because Scoopbox is actually playing. But no, Scoopbox is actually going to be subbed. It's going to be subbed in with Sakura and Parasai, so we're not going to be able to see Scoopbox with his Farsa play. So in this case, they can try to opt for the Farsa, but for now, Team Bosskurr is going to be prioritizing getting rid not just side laners, but also really great aggressive engagers, especially with the Jawhead.
The flexibility of Jawhead is really underrated. Most people are thinking like, oh yeah, it's a waste of a ban, but really, there's a lot of things that Jawhead kind of doesn't allow your team to do if it's on the enemy team, especially if you're a single target and you're pretty high priority. You don't have the mobility to kind of get out of it, and you don't really want to have to take the spell to make sure that you survive all of this.
Correct. But I wouldn't be surprised if Team Bosskurr actually really want to try to go for their last ban being either the Esmeralda or the Hilda in this case.
I mean, I feel like they're holding it up because, again, Uranus is going to be on the table, and if you're on red side, you don't mind actually picking up the Esmeralda and the Uranus.
That's what I'm saying, right? The priorities is like different from most a majority of this team. We even saw a game where Uranus actually got hammered pretty hard against the Lunox, so I wouldn't be surprised if Team Bosskurr or Team Orange Lourve Esports try to do something similar against the Uranus should it get picked up. It's just more like, which one will you prefer facing, or do you not want to face against in this case?
Yeah, in most situations it's going to be like that. Valir coming out for the side of Orange Lourve Esports, which I find kind of peculiar, which means they're looking for something a little bit more hard engaged.
Yes.
A little bit more hard engaged, something that doesn't get denied as easily, potentially the Kufra, potentially something else. Team Bosskurr, on the other hand, taking out a scaling mage in the Chang'e. Rather interesting.
I feel Orange Lourve Esports definitely want to try to set things up for the link pick for GG here because he does play a decent amount of assassin heroes here. So getting rid of Valir might be just one of the indications of the fact that he might want to try to go for an assassin pick, or then again, it just could be a safe pick because like Kuja has always been just diving to the front lines with his fighter roles here.
Yeah, I mean, other options could be like, you know, simply the Harith, something something that requires to kind of have that mobility and that movement to get in on their opponents. They lock in the Roger, all right, fine. It slipped through, that's absolutely fine. Team Bosskurr reply almost instantaneously with the Uranus as well as the Boxia lock-ins.
So I love it as well because of the fact that if Orange Lourve Esports actually did their homework, did their research on Team Bosskurr as well, they also will realize that one of the 2 or 3 best marksmen here that Fakes can actually play is actually Roger, and Roger being so versatile and sort of fit with that personality as well, trying to close things out through doing that early towards the mid-game transition. First picking Roger, probably going to be a huge dent or putting a huge wrench to Team Bosskurr's plan right now for their drafting.
I think it's still going to be okay here. There's still plenty of other options. Orange Lourve Esports is going to be securing that first round of the pick bans here with HYHY going onto that hill, picking up the Hilda, and Eugene picking up the Lunox.
I love it as well. Now Team Bosskurr is just slowly realizing the fact that since we chose to ban, we banned Aim's mage hero, the jungler, instead of the Hilda. Now Hilda is currently in the game here. And remember, Uranus early game is not as great compared to the Hilda here. I mean, sure, when it gets towards this mid game and late game, then yes, Uranus will slowly topple over Hilda as Hilda starts losing her tank ability when it gets towards the late game. But for now, it's all about controlling that early game, that aggression. Now having 2 heroes, both Roger and Hilda, that early game control or damage-wise is already in the favor of Ori so far.
I mean, so far, but again, I don't feel like it's purely early game like strength. Because if we're really breaking it down, it's level 4 that which they are looking to play for, and not like pre-level 4. And Team Bosskurr, they can easily come up with something that could actually punish them. To pick up Selena, for an example, or you're looking to get the Jawhead, which has already been banned out. But you get the general idea. If Team Bosskurr wanted to turn this into an early game composition, there still are picks that allow them to do so. But coming into the next ban phase, the second ban phase is going to be the Khalid being taken out by Team Bosskurr.
Now, really trying to see what do they want to take for themselves. I wouldn't be like if Team Bosskurr actually noticed it as well, they could try to opt to go for the Ruby ban as well. That's going to be allowing Orange Lourve Esports to not only have a great initiator but a great controller in that fight, which will prove detrimental for this Lancelot as well. Or they can even try to pick that up for themselves since they are on the red side, so they have first pick for this second pick phase.
I mean, that's a good option here, but can they deal with it? Because I mean, Team Bosskurr, they've set it up in such a way that, all right, yes, we have taken up a couple of counters to get rid, to make sure that Lancelot is going to be pretty much untouched. Orange Lourve Esports, okay, fine, we don't have a necessary answer. We just have to play, keep ourselves on our toes and make sure we don't get caught out by the Lancelot or any of his buddies that want to come by. Ban out the 1-1, take away secondary scaling.
Ooh, but either way, Team Bosskurr instantly winning the situation, go for the Ruby ban as well because they know they are lacking with that literally primary engager or initiator as well. But now that I think about it as well, Orange Lourve Esports, they can actually opt to go for a lane pick here if they want to go for this lane jungle. Roger goes to the gold lane. Then we just had now they had to just pick one control. Could be a Kufra or could even be an Akai here.
Yeah, that is a possibility here. Orange Lourve Esports, the final ban is going to be the Farsa. I think that's an extremely smart ban here because the amount of information you can get with Farsa's Feathered Airstrike is going to be a little too powerful when you pair it up with people who like to slow, who like to peel, like the Uranus and Boxia.
Oh man, but then again, Team Bosskurr, they really need this mage picker. What's pretty much who is left is Kagura, Veil. Who else am I missing? Eudora, yes, being very popular, instantly gets locked away.
Yeah, Eudora, in a matchup like this, yeah, it makes sense, and we're seeing a lot more Eudora because naturally it's just we have to take care of one of the 2 major damage dealers, and if you can just lock her down for like a second or at least 1.5 seconds, that's good enough for the team to actually, pop them off.
Yeah, I mean, definitely for sure, but here we come. You need Primary Initiator and possibly maybe a lane jungle or a Helkin. I'm looking at one of these 2 honestly here.
There is a possibility of who else is there? Who else is there?
There's still Tigreal, but like, would you want a Tigreal when you already have like a Hilda in this case?
Not really. I personally don't really like the idea of Tigreal now because even if you do push them away, they're kind of like run past.
Yeah, run past you, right?
Yeah. So picking up the Esmeralda as well as the Selena kind of changes the composition a little bit more because now you're depending on Esmeralda to actually be able to hold her own, which she can. She's got plenty of options. The only problem is that each one of these targets, if one of them gets CC, they basically are marked for death.
I mean, definitely for sure. Now I'm just trying to figure out where they're actually going to go here. Like gold lanes, jungle lanes.
I think Esmeralda is going to go into
Silent.
the EXP. Is going to go into the EXP lane. Lunox is going to be chilling around mid. Jungle is going to be go into aim. Hilda probably going to go into the opposite side lane, while
I mean, we have
Selena's going to be dedicated support.
Ooh, by the way, Claw, great pick as well. So we're going to be looking at the Lancelot jungle, and Claw going to go to the gold lane here. But at the same time, we also noticed that, okay, it's definitely going to be Esmeralda to the side lane because Kuja is actually going to be opting to go for this Esmeralda. I was about to say that Esmeralda makes a really great jungler as well. So GG is going to be our main carry here. I'm pretty sure he's going to go to the jungle for himself. HY is going to be, like you said, either go to the mid or to the side lane, and nothing to say, and aim is just going to be constantly just roaming around.
Yep, that sounds about right. But looking at both team compositions, which are you liking a little bit more?
Oh man, but I'm a little bit curious because we have not seen Perisai playing a marksman ever before here.
It's been,
A long time, right?
yeah, it has been quite some time. I can't say that he's terrible at it because
yeah, I
every
wouldn't say
pro
terrible.
player needs to be able to play a marksman to a certain degree to get to where they're at.
I know, because like the only thing that like I'm a big fan of is definitely Perisai's Gushin plays. He plays a really mad Gushin. So, but then again, him playing the Claude, it's just been a long time since we last saw him play a marksman. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, jump into game number 3 between both teams here, Lourve Esports and Team Bosskurr. Who's gonna take this win? We shall see after witnessing a beautiful graphics of the Land of the Dawn. Thank you so much, production. Let's see who takes game number 1.
Yeah, let's get this show on the road here. We've been waiting this for a while. Orange Lourve Esports versus Team Bosskurr. Looks like their opening is really interesting because I don't know who exactly is going to get the buff down onto red side there for the side of Orange Lourve Esports. They're letting Nothing to Say just kind of solo the lane for now, but who's getting this? Oh, looks like GG is going to be getting this, and they're getting a little bit of EXP as well. So that means the next wave is going to allow him to get to level 2. Boom, right there. And Selena still should be level 1.
Level 1 or not, it still comes down to, I'm really curious to what he actually trying to opt for. I don't see the Abyssal Trash being placed down, so I'm assuming he actually went for the Abyssal Arrow instead. But then again, if he went for the Abyssal Arrow, I'm looking to see a little bit more aggression, definitely right after he hits that level 2.
Yeah, and I think right now, yep, he hit his level 2, he was just waiting for the wave, and now he can start playing around. However, the buffs are important in aim. He's already starting to bombard the area of the blue buff side. Kaiser, once again, he's playing with fire here. He's proxying 2 waves at once to hit his level 4 as quickly as possible, and it's working out very, very well because now they're going to get what they've set up just now is free gold on the mid lane, but instead they're looking to respond to the top side, which they really shouldn't have.
Definitely for sure, but either way, well played coming for the back, and best part about it as well, no one is actually rotated to actually try to punish our dear friend Kaiser at all. So Kaiser's going to be able to get out not just a boost in 2 levels, but we'll be able to get back to the lane with full comfort. Remember, with Consecration, he's going to be, even without a Consecration, he's going to be naturally regenerating back that HP really quickly.
Yeah, but what was the original plan coming in from Orange Lourve Esports? Just to take away the buff and sacrifice, interacting with the bottom lane? I don't know. I find it kind of an interesting move because it could have been done a little bit more efficiently. That, or, I mean, Kaiser must be just 300 IQ to see into the future.
No, that may be true, but then again, look at the placement of the Abyssal Trust as well. I could only safely assume that the fact that they actually went for that invasion just to place down that vision for the set. But here comes the flicker, but then again, Parasite with the Battle Mirror image, he's going to be able to make that fight quite passive. But we're not talking about the Wolf King himself, Roger, and GG will be able to secure the first blood for his team here on Parasite.
I think GG could have rolled forward. Oh no, but he's got to be careful because, again, he doesn't know when that stun is going to be up just yet. Even with the timers, it's a little hard to estimate exactly when. If you're caught under the turret while stunned, well, you're going to lose most of your health. But Nothing to Say, once again, trying to disrupt that blue buff side. Esmeralda comes in hard, trying to shred them as much as they can. Kuja flickers forward to pick up Kaiser, but it isn't enough, and they don't get the buff this time round. But Fakes, he's going to walk away a happy boy.
Oh man, what really great invasion for sure. Definitely a little bit of risky plays, but then again, it all makes up as HY was able to pick up a beautiful 1v1 on Kaiser towards that bottom lane. Oh man, really great stuff coming in.
Yeah, it's been good works, but again, very passive gameplay coming in from both sides. Nobody really dedicating all their resources, and so far only Lourve was the only ones making the moves. And Kuja, he's going to be absorbing everything. Blazing Duet, don't care, just going to absorb as much as I can. Walk away, only loses about half of his life, but luckily the Tortoise Poissance was there to add that extra damage.
Yeah, but then again, this is exactly what Kuja is trying to go for as well, because he noticed that the fact that GG was actually soloing this turtle, so he just had to buy enough time as long as possible. But nothing to say, comes in with the reinforcement. Team Bosskurr will not be able to take down this top tier 1 tower for long. And with the reinforcement coming in, that's going to be allowing the rest of the team to open up the map a little bit more better.
Yeah, oh man, Eudora is such a threat. Her stun is just such a powerhouse, and there's nothing you can, there's not a lot of counterplay you have to it for a lot of these heroes, but those who do have to be super careful. And now, getting ganked HY quickly coming out of it, uses the darkness to buy some distance and time to push them out. While on the opposite side of the map, Orange Lourve Esports look to try and take this top tier 1.
Really great sound of the fact that Team Orange Lourve Esports just totally understand the fact that like we have this early game aggression and potential. Let's just try to get as many objectives as possible. Although yes, there were some moments they did lose some of their buffs towards the invasion coming from the side of Team Bosskurr, but I still totally fine with that because GG is still going quite strong.
Yeah, GG knows that Sakura is on his way. If she has Flicker, he's in trouble. Yep, he's dead anyways. Ah, that's rough. That is rough.
That is very rough indeed. And the worst part about it as well, nothing to say was not really in the vicinity to really back him up either. Wrong place at the wrong time, maybe?
I think he just got a little greedy. Like, you could see him walk up intending to fight, but the moment that his teammates made the call of, hey, we don't know where Eudora is, he is on the run. And unfortunately, at that point in time, Sakura still had his Flicker.
Ooh, guys are going to come straight to the back line. Brilliance by HY is going to be coming in as well just to get out of that, just in case. A burst arrow will be able to connect, but then again, this is on top of a box here. I don't think you really want to try to jump on top of a box here, especially when Sakura is still in play and still alive.
Oh, nothing. Oh, wait, hold up here. Hold up. The gank coming in from that top side, catching HY off guard, and while he was midway doing his jungle camp.
Really unfortunate there as well, but still big pickup coming from side of Team Bosskurr. Kill score currently tied 2-2 here. Net worth, I say it's pretty much very similar. Same goes for towers, 1 for 1. Now all comes down to see who can secure this turtle. Looks like Team Bosskurr has the upper hand in securing it because they have the amount of number of men here, and they will safely secure it with that retribution.
Yeah, just look at the counter proxying coming in from both of these teams. Esmeralda just chilling by bot side, clearing that wave, while you can see that Uranus on the bottom side as well, trying to proxy the exact same wave. So both sides not really getting too far with anything here. They're just clearing the waves, taking a camp, and then looking to rotate.
Demon Hunter Sword also going to be picked up on the side here, Pura side as well. That's going to be pretty big. Definitely not big enough if he really wanted to try to go for this 1v1 against GG.
Yeah, they are just trying to control this river line here. Both contesting to control land, making sure that they have more vision control. Kuja, oh man, Kuja and Kaiser are just both having the funnest of times.
I mean, yeah, it's just pretty much just farming and split pushing. And the best part about it, neither one of these teams want to go and try to literally punish them because they know that they can't really catch up to them at all. But then again, Kaiser's going to be slowly falling back. Ghost got a 1v1 against Kuja. Let's see who is going to be taking the top 5. But anyway, coming back towards this mid-fire. Nothing to say, gets a little bit down low, but then again, he has the push. So he's going to be able to get the shield. But on the other hand, GG on the hunt, gets Scott. And the rest of the team instantly has to disengage.
Yep. Back up to the top side, says GG, as he looks to continue to farm. I'm excited to see how much gold he's developed at this point in time. He is level 10 to Fake's level 10 as well, 2-1 to 1-0. It's looking pretty good for either carry here, but again, no real lead has been developed.
No, the thing is just, ooh, by the way, beautiful Cash Face has literally having the toughest time, but Sally can't say the same for Sakura, but she's still holding on the line as long as possible, but Sally, instantly Eudora will be able to pick up 1 for 1 before she fell.
Making sure to get all of Eudora's abilities up. Oh wait, Parisai's coming in with a blazing duet, this time on nothing to say. He's getting pretty hard chunked out, but that's going to be Fakes coming in hard with the Phantom Execution, picking up a kill off of GG. And once again, that buff is mine.
Oh man. Really interesting fact that actually, if you're actually spinning with the Shield of Unity, like if you get stunned, you still move, but you eventually stop, right? According to the animation.
Yeah, of course, it would eventually stop. And once again, Bosskurr having full control over the turtle pit as Orange Lourve Esports struggling to find an angle to get in.
Lightning Charger going to be picked up by Sakura as well, going to be doing even more damage, but nothing to say. Isley has to back up because our dear friend Scott is there to back him up. Now we're slowly transitioning towards this mid-game, right? And then the point here is nothing to say, only has 2 stacks. Really not looking that great at all, but still able to contest against Scott, but for how long?
I'm not entirely sure because, I mean, Fakes is here, and now, there we go, Parisai. He's doing some decent damage, not enough to be super substantial, but just enough to threaten. Now, Scott, he's in trouble. He is dead, finally. Oh, I was sweating for him, but here comes the ultimate coming in from Eudora. Nothing to say, just absolutely eats the whole thing. And now, with 3 stacks under his belt, that's going to be some significant damage, especially for the squishier targets from Team Bosskurr.
Definitely for sure. Ooh, Abyssal Arrow will not be able to connect. We haven't seen a really beautiful connection of the Abyssal Arrow just yet, but Fake's going to be walking right into the book, so nothing to say. Nothing to say. He's going to be able to trade off a little bit of damage, do quite an amount as well, but instantly he has to flicker out because of the rotation coming in for the rest of the team. Abyssal Arrow does be able to connect, but he still had the battle mirror image, so he'll still be able to back off.
Yep, they're slow. They are both. I mean, both teams are playing this game slow. Oh, nothing to say. Now in trouble with the Blazing Duet. There's no way he can get out of this, even though he is just trying to get that regeneration off in the brush. Just nothing that they could do at this point in time. Once again, Orange Lourve Esports just playing their own game. It's 5-5, and nobody has really taken a significant lead. Team Bosskurr ever slightly so in lead, but not enough to say that, oh yeah, I can end the game right here, right now.
I mean, yeah, definitely for sure. Really unfortunate. GG got to be really careful. The minute he gets out, let's be honest, the minute he gets out of this, I'm pretty sure his whole team is just telling him right now, like, dude, if you're not fast enough, you're going to die. He's like, kenapa? He's like, why? He's like, no, you just trust me, just run. Run or at least do something.
Well, I mean, what can you really do? It is a hill.
You mean in that situation? No, I'm talking about GG in that situation.
Well, I mean, yes, you should have run. You should have ran. But again, I do think that overall, like, this game has just been a complete stalemate. Both sides are a little hesitant to make any moves, and the moves that have been made haven't been followed up by really big punishes at all.
It's really difficult because at the same time, like, every time the Lancelot, right, he realized, like, hey, you know, I'm at my spikes, but anyway, speaking of the game, looks like our dear friend GG will be able to get out of that situation alive. But anyway, yeah, coming back to what I was saying, right? It's really difficult, like, for example, right, our dear friend Fakes, right? He really has a certain amount of items and also the level for him to go for that spike because he's literally level 13. He still has to bide his time because the rest of the team still needs farm. They all are literally late game heroes here compared to the side here, the team Orange Lourve Esports.
Okay, it doesn't connect. But yeah, no, I think you're right in that aspect. Oh, nothing to say.
Oh man, yeah, I mean, nothing to say, man.
but Eudora is starting to become a problem here because no one can really catch her just yet. Oh wait, hold on, Sakura finally going down, and just as I mentioned it, Caster's Curse kicks in perfectly.
Definitely, the jinx is real, but anyway, GG finally going for the rotation, punishes our dear friend Sakura, sorry, not Sakura, Kaiser, for constantly going for that split for the longest of time. Really great pickup, but it's going to be allowing our dear friend Kuja to slowly push out that bottom lane a little bit more further than usual here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're kind of playing this push and pull game where they want to threaten a major objective on the map while somebody else is looking to go to the side and kind of, you know, buy time with the time bot, really start profiting by investing in damage in the turrets, looking to take away resources, jungle camps, whatever you see, whatever you want.
Oh, Kuja that siege tank was just one hit away for securing that bottom tier 2 tower. That was really unfortunate. But then again, beautiful save coming from Fakes to ensure that bottom lane didn't get too much. But coming back to the mid lane, beautiful dive coming in with the Blazing Duet. Nothing to say, once again in his own bush, able to sustain and do quite a amount of damage towards Scott. And here comes GTC because able to pick up a beautiful kill for himself. Scott pops the ultimate, but still not going to be good enough. Sakura pops his ultimate, trying to drop it down, but then again, he's able to escape it from it with the flicker on himself.
Yep, they're going to continue pushing on. Kuja even flickering forward to get on top of Barisai, but look at the wave. It's already been crushed as they look to back away from this fight. They don't want to stick around longer than they should have to, and not to mention that most of them did get kind of chunked.
But anyway, Law is going to be out here. GG seeing the fact that this is an opportunity for them to take this Law for themselves, since Scott is not really in the vicinity to come and back them out. And remember, this is not limited Law, so it's going to be a very easy Law to go for that to go pick up. Kuja, beautiful engagement, going to be locked down per side. He is not just about to commit the Blazing Duets. GG instantly stopped doing the Law because he knows the rest of the team has to commit towards this one mid-game team fight.
Yep. Guys are going pretty deep in here. Once again, they find a stun onto nothing to say, but to no avail when their damage dealers are that far separated.
It's a really challenging game for Orange Lourve Esports because remember, both HY and our dear friend GG really need to scale together. They really want to contest against the two carries coming from the side of Team Bosskurr, both being Barisai and even Face. Don't even forget about Sakura as well with the Eudora.
Yeah, and I think it's still such a big problem. But once again, Barisai getting caught out, and the Blazing Duet didn't come out in time. But I don't think it was going to matter too much, considering that Nothing to Say is playing. That Kuja is playing the Esmeralda. What are they doing? Oh, the Nothing to Say was already in the middle of their fight. I couldn't even see his portrait on the minimap here. As they find that first initial kill, OLE are looking to go in hard as quickly as possible to push them off of this main objective.
I mean, they had to try to zone him out because GG is trying to solo this law as quickly as possible. He has the Retribution, so he's going to be able to safely secure it. And with that law picked up as well, he's going to be able to pick up the Necklace of Endurance, Dominance Eyes, and even the Queen's Wings for themselves here. A lot of items. Hopefully this item boost here for themselves will be enough to win them the next clash here.
I mean, it's 3-2 Torrents so far. Lord is walking down through bottom side. Orange Lourve Esports has an opportunity to take this game away. If they go for the picks here down in the mid lane, or at least pick up one of them, that in itself is so worth it.
Ooh, GG, bringing out the amount of damage on face, but the best arrow is going to be able to connect, but sadly, there will not be any follow-up because the rest of the team a little bit too far behind.
Yeah. They have to play it nice and slow and take it easy as they look to try and break this final boss as quickly as they can.
By the way, here comes Nothing to Say, going straight to the back line, sees Parasite in his side. Berserker is going to be able to mask his presence, instantly gets a lock on top of Scott as well. Scott trying to do his best, pops the shield Unity, and he's also been trying to run away. And thankfully enough, that damage will be enough to slow down and melt down the Lord. But the Lord has done significant amount of damage, and with that space creation, Orange Lourve Esports managed to take down the first tier and second tier turret in the mid lane.
Now that they've got, I mean, they're still trying to expose one of these inhibitors. They haven't put a lot of damage into it, except for the bottom one. But even top side, they're just taking their sweet, sweet time.
Sweet, sweet time indeed. But then again, they can't take it for too long unless they start asserting dominance towards all this jungle. I see a couple of jungle camps still available for the side here, but Kuja is currently on it, trying to clear them as much as possible. Same goes for the Lunox, and Nothing to Say as well, because they want to ensure that Team Bosskurr doesn't really combat. All they need to worry about is Fix, who hasn't died at all. Nothing to Say able to tank a lot. He has entered the bush as well, but it's sustaining from 4 people worth of damage as well. And here comes the rest of the team. Kuja tanking a little bit too much, drops on the Falling Star mode, but sadly there's not going to be any fallout for it. H1 on the other end gets a little bit too deep, trying to flick around, and Parasite instantly jumps into the Blazing Duet, but instantly has to back off because GG is currently jumping towards his back line.
Yep, I mean, that fight in itself, really long, dragged out. Nobody really got hurt except for Scott. That's mainly because he was out of position.
Oh man, but then again, this is how mobile the entire lineup both teams really has, right? Battle Mirror Image, dashing back in, getting back out, sustainability, flickers as well. Although yes, Kaiser still has his Purify. Not sure whether it's going to be needed for him as he goes toe-to-toe with GG in this case.
Tough call. It's a tough call. Oh, but Nothing to Say. Once again, he just walks up way too far into the Eudora stun.
I mean, you know, in this case, we have nothing to say about that, right? Just walk into the mid, instantly get stunned by the Eudora. That's just a really painful lesson for him.
Well, this is more like this is a painful, potential slow-mo, but like, let's see, let's see how this plays out a little bit more. I mean, it has been 16 minutes of the game with no substantial moves coming out of Team Bosskurr here. Yet the goal is only a 3K differential. Holy Crystal just being bought by Kuja. That's going to be a huge buy for him, especially at level 15, and it stacks with the rest of your items. But again, yeah, both sides just really taking their time with this.
I mean, definitely for sure, because they're literally all preparing for themselves for this next law fight. This next law is going to be really deciding things out. But anyway, Sally out there, friend, gets stunned, gets caught down. Aim is currently out for the count, but Kuja still diving to the mix as well. Sally not enough to save his teammate as Parasite finally picking up the double kill he was looking for in this 16 minutes of the game.
I mean, this is looking pretty grim for the side of Orange Lourve Esports. I'm not entirely sure how they're going to try and win this game out, but they will give it a shot as they look to continue rotating towards the top side. My guess is that they want to get top tier 2.
Top tier 2. It's definitely an aspiration they all really want to try to achieve for themselves here. But let's see whether that aspiration will become a dream or just like literally nothing to say for the next time. Because now Luminous Law is currently out. Kuja doing his best to split push that ball lane. Try to force Kaiser to stay in that lane for as long as possible in hopes that the team can actually fight that fight without him.
Yeah, this is just kind of speed up the process as much as they can. Well, they know Scott can kind of just eat it for now, for a good amount of time, but now Orange, they see what's going on. They are spotting Esmeralda coming in with a huge line, but the stun just stopped her right dead in her tracks. Abyssal Arrow comes through, landing onto the Kaiser again. Kaiser is still going pretty hard, trying to get those Ionic Edges to connect, get the initial stun, but it's too late. She already has the shield, negated most of the damage. Fakes is on the run, gets hit by the Abyssal Arrow. Aim, going to be looking to kill him off. There we have it. And they also find another kill once again with the Roger. A double, a triple, a great way to tell your opponents, nah, we're still in it to win it.
Oh man, AIM, if Lourve Esports win this fight right now, then AIM, you will be the MVP for finally locking down Fakes, who's been playing very safe throughout the entire game. That was pretty much his first death throughout his 18 minutes of the game.
18 minutes or not, but it's still nothing really is happening, because every single time they get onto that Lord, they just get pushed off every single time. Like, watch, he's gonna do it again. Bosskurr is gonna walk up. OLE is just gonna hold their position, and do they finally take it after all this time, after taking out 3 members? Yes, they do. Please finish it. Please don't let them steal it.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Okay, there we go. Now that they've secured it, they can just walk back into lane, not have to worry too much about it.
Now this is the part where whether Lourve Esports is able to close things out right here, right now. They cannot buy any more time. Sure, nothing to say. He's able to withstand some of the damage, but it's barely for long. He has to be really methodical about where his position is going to be like, especially since he's just constantly peeling for the team. GG picking up the Demon Hunter Blade is going to be really great at dealing with that tank, especially Kaiser, who's just constantly going, bombing and weaving back and forth throughout all these fights.
All right. Now that Luminous Lord, now that Luminous Lord is walking out at this point in time, let's see how Team Bosskurr actually wants to handle the situation. Remember, they're 4K behind, but I mean, the goal at this point doesn't necessarily matter, because all our heroes here should have full items by now. Arguably, not the support.
I mean, definitely for sure. Like in this case, like, and the scariest part about it as well, we're talking about a Claude late game with quite a decent amount of items as well. So that Blazing Duet will hurt, regardless of how much shield that Kuja is able to steal away from him as well. Let's see whether AIM is able to pull off another beautiful Abyssal Arrow, because that was going to be really count. Almost connecting on Parasite though, quite close, but Lord instantly breaks down. But Parasite getting a little bit too close to come as well. As nothing to say, almost get them picked up as well. Kaiser instantly gets melted down. Killing spree for a different HY. Minotaur not holding up for long. Sakura is going to be dropping down the ultimate, but Sally will not be able to connect on any member at all. Lord instantly gets melted down, but Sally with the cost of 2 inhibitor and possibly a potentially a 3rd one as well towards his top side.
Yep. Can they crack it open? Yes, they do. That's going to be another inhibitor going over to Orange Lourve Esports. They've collected all 3 of the inhibitor turrets, and now super creeps will be coming down from every single one of these actions. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Where did he go?
Where did he go? I don't know. But anyway, Parasite going to be coming in with the Blazing Duet, but Sally Fakers instantly gets melted down by AIM, and AIM go for the pickup. And looks like Lourve Esports goes to the crystal, ends the game, and first games will go to them as well.
Oh boy, that was an interesting game. Very slow pace. Not a lot of risk taking. I mean, there was a little risk taking, but nothing too out of the ordinary. Like, I'm gonna transition. I do feel like, you know, everybody's trying to get back into the motions of things, but let's see what our analyst has to say. Let's throw it over to LaFell. Take it away.
Hello, thank you to the casters, as well as welcome all of you Malaysia as well as Singaporean viewers, as well as all the other countries like Philippines and the rest. So, we saw perlawanan antara tim Bosskurr dan juga tim Orange Lourve Esports, di mana nampak macam agak setanding. Orange boleh menang, Bosskurr boleh menang. Tetapi, I akan cakap di mana Orange Lourve Esports mereka menang bukannya lebih kepada mereka punya performance yang bagus, which memang performance yang bagus, tetapi lebih kepada beberapa mistake yang dilakukan oleh Bosskurr. So kita akan tengok highlight yang dibawakan khas oleh Yudu to see what really happened in the game. So earlier on, Team Bosskurr, they lost a few fights on the gold lane. It's not their fault, tapi banyak kali kena gank dekat kawasan situ. So, Bosskurr earlier on, sampai kepada mid game, they did pretty well. But then, dekat sini, later on, dekat lane Kaiser, ada beberapa kali dia tak sepatutnya mati. Sebab kalau dia mati, dia betul-betul bagi chance kepada Orange Lourve Esports untuk menang. And beberapa engagement di-cancelkan oleh Eudora punya stun, which is pretty good. And kita akan pause dekat sini. Just I nak tunjuk a situation where Bosskurr banyak kali they try to get a neutral objective, which is the Lord. But the timing of them taking the Lord is really not good, because they receive too much damage from the Lord, right? So whenever a team fight starts, Perisai and Fakes, they're already at half HP. And at that point, I don't think it's a good idea for them to even try to fight against anyone when the enemy is full HP. So this is just one of those times, but later on in the highlights, you guys can see plenty of times where it's really not a good time for them to contest anything, but they still do. So kita akan teruskan highlight kita di mana tim Bosskurr, pada pendapat saya, okay, kita pause kat sini juga where Kaiser, he was holding down this lane, okay? Kaiser was holding down this lane all this while. And dua atau tiga kali, Orange Lourve Esports, they send GG as well as Kuja to fight against Kaiser. And this is very smart because in order for Bosskurr to win, Kaiser needs to not die. He actually needs to control the lane very well. He doesn't need to get kills. He just needs to survive. He just needs to control the minions. But because he could not do that, later on we can see that Esmeralda get this tower or this turret, and this causes a lot of stress for Team Bosskurr because they lost a big part of the map. Okay, so kita akan teruskan highlight dekat sini where Kaiser, dia keseorangan, dia betul-betul kena jaga dia punya positioning, dia tak boleh nak mati. And also beberapa kali pun kita boleh nampak Perisai tak jaga positioning dia dan Sakura pun kena tangkap dekat bahagian back end. Early game tak banyak abyssal arrow yang kena, and dekat sini sebenarnya stun daripada Eudora yang menyebabkan diorang boleh menang disebabkan last minute kena stun tu menyebabkan dia tak boleh nak melarikan diri. Over here banyak kali perlawanan dekat bahagian Lord, and this is what I mean. Dekat kawasan sini tadi, Fakes dan juga Perisai, dua-dua sekali setengah HP. They should not contest that. They should just wait, and then bila ada true opportunity, then they go. And Perisai beberapa kali dia menjadi frontline. Yes, Claude bila you dah ada full stack, your movement speed is very fast. I still think it's not a good idea for you to frontline everything. Go see what the enemy is doing. It's a terrible idea. So, Bosskurr nampak seperti mereka dah start rasa nervous sedikit bila dah later on in the game. But anyway, sekarang kita akan tengok itemization from both of the teams. Kita tengok GG itemization dia lebih kepada damage and of course attack speed, endless battle dan juga Blade of Despair to have that burst. Kemudian dia punya attack speed items dekat dia punya Demon Hunter Sword as well as Windtalker. Untuk Perisai, good damage. Dia siapkan Demon Hunter Sword as well as Golden Staff untuk pastikan yang dia boleh keluarkan the highest attack speed yang boleh. And for defensive properties, dia siapkan Athena Shield as well as Wind Nature untuk pastikan kalau dia kena attack dengan physical damage itu GG, dia boleh survive. But the thing is, positioning is still a little bit out. Fakes dia punya itemization and battle as well as Blade of Despair. And of course, si Halberd untuk cancelkan apa-apa healing, which ada banyak healing dekat situ. Dekat sini, Kaiser kalau dia tukar dia punya hero, maybe a little bit better ataupun dia play in a different kind of way. So ini itemization yang kita nampak daripada kedua-dua team. Now let's look at the post-game stats untuk nampak the damage numbers from all of them, which I actually quite interested untuk tengok damage numbers daripada Sakura. But anyways, kita tengok dekat goal. To me, the goal kita tak perlu nak tengok sangat because it was very intense game. 10 tower untuk Orange Lourve Esports, only 3 for Bosskurr, which maybe if they focus a little bit more on the towers, maybe they can get more gold as well as get a bigger lead in the game. Lord, 2 kali Orange Lourve Esports, mereka kena securekan Lord untuk endkan game. Rich Guy akan diberikan kepada GG. The carry high dengan 92,000 damage. Banyak Lunox dapat the carry pada hari ini. Sandbag, Kaiser terima paling banyak damage dengan 208,000 damage yang diabsorb. Forgotten One adalah nothing to say. So kita tengok dekat team Bosskurr, damage paling tinggi adalah Claude dengan 77,000 damage yang dikeluarkan. 58,000 dikeluarkan oleh Eudora, which is actually quite good disebabkan kita tengok Lancelot only 40,000 damage daripada Fakes. Now, Orange Lourve Esports, damage yang paling tinggi adalah Lunox dan juga Esmeralda, 92,000 dan juga 89,000. Tetapi Roger only 57,000 damage yang dikeluarkan. So menunjukkan yang seperti kita punya magic damage dealers dekat team Orange Lourve Esports buat banyak kerja. And as we can see, Kuja selalu lawan dengan Uranus. Uranus boleh sustain dengan lama, so Kuja boleh dapat accumulate dia punya damage jauh lebih tinggi. And Lunox, as I would say Lunox is a very good counter for Uranus, especially if Uranus is at the side lane and Lunox is there as well. Whenever she has a level 4, she just uses her Darkening, and then whatever damage she puts out on Uranus, Uranus cannot regen that fast to really survive the lane. So I think picking Uranus is kind of dangerous if Lunox is still open. Chang'e, maybe not a good ban. Maybe kalau dorang ban Lunox a little bit better, or honestly, Selena, either of these two mages are better than Chang'e, especially when you already have the idea that you want Baxia. If you don't want Baxia, then that's fine. Just ban Chang'e because she's very annoying. But if you're picking Baxia anyways, so might as well just let the hero go and then just beat him out with your hero selection. So damage numbers from both of these teams, we can see a clear picture of what they can do. But Bosskurr, they look pretty strong. So it's not over for Bosskurr. I think they still have a chance to win the next game if the draft is tweaked a little bit, especially the banning phase. But anyways, that is the damage numbers from both of the teams. Now we're gonna look at the MVP of the game. I would say everyone did pretty well, but this guy over here, GG, even though according to the damage numbers he didn't do much, but we can see every time GG comes by, it's very dangerous situation. Every time dia masuk dengan Lycan Pounds, dia punya burst damage kepada sesiapa, lagi dekat bahagian backline sangat-sangat tinggi. 26% total team gold earned, 2790 damage per minute. Itemization kita dah sentuh tadi dengan Demon Sword dan juga Wind Talker untuk dia punya attack speed dan juga untuk burst damage dikit ada Endless Battle dan Blade of Despair. Survivability wise, dia mengambil Queen's Wings untuk pastikan yang dia boleh sustain lebih lama disebabkan bila HP low, you punya defense naik as well as you punya lifesteal menjadi lebih tinggi. So congratulations kepada GG. But I guess disebabkan kita tengok damage numbers, kita boleh juga cakap Hai ataupun Kuja yang menangkan game tadi. Anyways, itu adalah game pertama. Kita ada game kedua di mana kalau Orange Lourve Esports menang, sampai sini sajalah perlawanan untuk team Bosskurr. So, macam mana pun, we will pass to the English casters as well as the host and the guests from Quickie to see what else they want to say. So guys, please take.
Thank you so much, Lafelle, for such another round of in-depth analysis of that game between Lourve Esports and Team Bosskurr. So how are you feeling?
Well, I definitely feel like that game was definitely a lot more dragged out than it should have been.
Yes.
A lot of mistakes just went around not punished, and you can definitely see like the difference between teams who are really feeling it that day and teams who prefer to kind of take a slower approach to this. And I think Bosskurr in this particular situation, the draft in itself was already a little bit flawed here, and Lunox is starting to become a more prominent pick for a lot of these teams. So it's something that you're going to need to prepare for more often than not.
And what's even better as well, like Lunox was one of the best picks doing in the previous season as well. And
like season 2, 3, 4.
I mean, MPL-MY, we saw some Lunox, just saying.
I mean, overall, Lunox is just a really consistent pick, and
Correct.
when you put her in comparison to like so many of the other mages, they all kind of have their place. And I think for now, like, she can absolutely destroy and shred tanks like they are nothing, especially when you have to put them with the question of how do you itemize? Should I be going for more armor? Should I be going for more magic resist?
Yeah, and what's even better as well, like, because since now, I wouldn't say, yes, I guess we can consider jungle lane. Now the lanes are more open up as well. We're no longer sharing EXP or gold. It just literally promotes more cores. So the fact that with this new addition coming from the Zion Moontun, heroes like Lunox slowly start coming back in. I wouldn't say back into the meta, but it's more like back into the game where people can be like, hey, he's actually a great tank shredder. Let's pick him. We can just send him to the lane and pick a marksman that's great at jungling as well, like Roger or Yisun Shin.
Yeah, it's viable, and I think that's the most important one. The fact that it is super viable, and that's nice. Having more options in the draft is going to always be interesting, and more importantly, it's one of those things where it's like, oh hey, these older heroes which I didn't get to use, like Eudora, who basically was unplayable for a large amount of time, now coming in being better than the natural Aurora, which she didn't even see a lot of play to begin with.
Yeah, definitely for sure, but I'm just that game just shouldn't have been drawn up for that long. That's my only the reason why I asked you how you feel, because like for me I just felt like that game shouldn't have lasted that long. I get it, insecurities, right? You want that guaranteed win. You want to ensure that like even if we are lacking in some field, the Lord sort of like makes up for it, or like our levels or item wise, because there were times where we saw like let's be honest, Fakes was already hitting that item timing, that level timing after Lancelot, right?
Yes.
But every time he goes for a clash and then he realized like, alright, like he went for 2 clashes, right? First was successful, the other one was he had to back off, right? So I easily realized like, alright, Claude needs to farm. I fall back and farm too. I'm like, no, that's not what's supposed to be happening. You're supposed to just like apply even more pressure when sort at least that way when Claude finally comes online, the enemy isn't as tough as it's supposed to be since you've been like slowly poking at them.
Yeah,
and Orange Lourve Esports on the other hand, I feel like they will always be hesitant at a very crucial moment. Like there will be some moments where like they've tell us, should I do Lord now? Should I do Lord later? Should I engage now? Should I engage later?
I mean, you kind of have to give credit for Bosskurr for kind of putting that.
Like Orange Lourve Esports,
Yeah. But you have to give credit to Bosskurr because they were able to kind of put this placebo effect with how many people they kind of just put in the area to kind of give off the information of like, hey, you might not necessarily get Lord this time. I've got like, what, 4 people alive, 2 of them are missing. I don't know where they are. Do you know where they are? I know where they are, but you don't.
And I remember there was one point in the game where you're just like, hey, you know, they're gonna pull back the Lord. I was like, there's no way. There's just only 2 of them, right? I said, nah, they're gonna pull it back. And instantly they pull it back. I'm like, how?
Yeah, it's one of those where you need to have that kind of security in taking them and the confidence to actually pull that off. And I think for Orange Lourve Esports' side, it could have been done better. But don't worry, Team Bosskurr fans, because I definitely think that they do have. I feel like there's something missing apart from the team composition. Is that the fact that a lot of these teams are thinking so far ahead about like, oh yeah, we need to get into scaling. We need to start thinking about that. When really a lot of these early game comps are getting away with what they're doing because there is a priority of early to mid. And I think a lot of teams kind of got this wrong idea of what early to mid is supposed to be because, again, they're not pushing their leads and they're not putting them in an oppressive position.
It's pretty much like you get that first 3 or 5 kills, or you be like, all right, we're in the lead, let's fall back.
Yeah, no. There needs to be that continual oppression. You need to be able to not only like.
Assert the dominance.
I mean, assert the dominance is like a very general term, but like
how the Spaniards invaded the other countries right back in the day.
I know exactly where you're going with this, and I'm not gonna keep that up. So
I'm the very model of a modern day.
Whoa, we gotta calm down for that, okay? We can't talk about world. We're talking about here in MYSG.
I mean, technically it is world since there's Indonesia. We're international.
You're the worst. You're the absolute worst. You're the absolute. We have fun here at the caster's desk at the English side. But yeah.
He's going to bash me later.
oh, definitely. It's going to be like, But besides verbal abuse, we have to also talk about the way that, that like small mistakes really start snowballing, and it starts from the early game. It doesn't even start in the mid game. It's not where it's like, oh, I made a mistake in the early game, and then after that, it doesn't really matter. It just means that the other team didn't continue to punish them, because you have to always be targeting the weakest link every single time. And it's sometimes not necessarily the weakest link in the composition, but the weakest link as in someone made a mistake. Oh, you're at a disadvantage. I'm going to abuse you. I am going to make sure you're not going to have a fun time.
Yeah, but just whip him, you know, like every time, right?
Exactly. You're going to be cutting off the jungle, cutting off his support, making sure that you're forcing your opponents to kind of, compensate in that way by putting that pressure in that one side. I definitely think they could have done that part a little bit better, but I don't know. This might just be one of those, like, Orange Lourve Esports first game, like, oh, yeah, we kind of like, not exactly in the motion. Same thing for Team Bosskurr, but game 2 is when they kind of pop off.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely get what you mean. I definitely get what you're trying to say as well, but I still feel like that only happens because of what they're actually what they actually have and what they're actually playing with, that kind of thing. So I feel like when it comes down to the drafting, especially for both of these teams as well, I think they just need to set like a baseline for themselves, like if we want early game, who do we want for our early game? We want that transitioning towards that early to mid game, who do we want for our early to mid game? We cannot just simply throw out like, oh, this guy's great late game, this here is great mid game, this guy's great early game. Let's make things happen.
I feel like, especially with the draft, now that there's so many options, like 10.
Too many.
There's so many options that even though you have 10, there's not a lot of roles that you can really like hard punish. Marksmans, even if you use all 5 of your bans to get rid of marksmans, right? Then it's like, oh, well, okay, you take one marksman, I'll take one marksman at the end of the day. It's not like anything's gonna change.
I mean, honestly, if I ever see a team banning all 5 marksmen, I'm gonna be like, okay.
Cool.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. Not really a 10 out of 10 motion, but it's still cool.
No, it really is. Yeah, and I think like one of the only few roles that you could punish within the first like 3 bans is mainly tanks. that's about all you have, and you can see that a lot of these teams are kind of straying away from the tanks, usually, you know, dedicating themselves to Baxia rather than getting the Gatot, the Grox, the Francos. Oh.
We saw that a lot during regular season. Like the first 3 regular season, everyone was banning out the tanks. The first 3 bans is always tanks. It's like always very common.
Yeah, the Grox, the Kufras, the Atlas.
Yeah, everyone's gone. And I'm like, hey man, give some tanks some love, man. Then suddenly fighters starts coming in, junglers starts coming in, everyone's like, don't care about the tanks, get rid of the cores, get rid of anyone that can actually make a massive composition. I'm like, yeah, love some love for our tanks. Yeah,
so fun.
It's so fun. Let's do this.
Yeah, no, and you know, with these different optional picks, I definitely want to see teams start to go out of their comfort zones and experiment more. Because Eudora, great pick, obviously, as we move into the second draft. But I do want to see something better. Like, where did Franco go? Why is he unviable in these situations?
A lot of reasons.
Well, yeah, that was just like a minimal example because. It's like a Cho. If you can land if you're amazing at landing hooks, I mean, Franco is always going to be like a fear.
Yeah, I mean, definitely for sure. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is the second drafting between both of these teams this time, and Team Bosskurr going to be on the blue side, so they have first pick and first ban. And starting things off, they get rid of the Esmeralda. Orange Lourve Esports on the red side instantly gets rid of the Barat, and Team Bosskurr realizing that the fact like, all right, this Hilda is too annoying. Get rid of it instantly. I did call it out that they should have at least went for the Hilda ban instead of the Chonger. So at least now this time they're getting the full brunt of it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's the beauty of the picks and bans. Where if you don't like it the first game, get rid of it in the second. Orange Lourve Esports looking to respond on their side. I don't think they would really change their draft to unless there's something that they want to set up for.
They can get rid of the Uranus. That's a start for sure. If they can't really think of what they really want to go for with this less time which they have, pretty much 12 seconds left, they can try to go for something else. But I prefer they go for the Uranus. It's safe, it's a great ban, and of course with the Esmeralda being banned out, there's not really much counters you can really try to go for Uranus. I mean, yes, Lunox can, but it's whether Lunox fits the next comp which you're trying to go for here.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like Lunox can kind of fit anywhere, really. She is a bit of a Swiss Army knife when it comes to it.
I still think Lunox is kind of a situation like if you were to compare it between the other side laners as well. Like, okay, if we had a competition between Lunox and Alice though.
Lunox and Alice? Is there really a comparison there?
No, I mean, because I'm just trying to think, because since Esmeralda gets banned out here.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just trying to think like, okay, what are the other side laners that we have seen throughout this regular season or playoffs? Mage, by the way, that went to the side lanes.
Yeah, but it's not really much of a comparison because Alice is kind of bad.
I know she's bad, but
she's kind of bad.
I know, but I couldn't think of anyone to compare with in the side lanes. You rarely see a mage going to the side lanes.
I mean, there's Angela, but then the only reason she goes there is just to kind of brick wall these other melee type heroes. So I don't know. That's why I think that Lunox is kind of the Swiss Army knife, where she's not particularly amazing anywhere, but she kind of just fits.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, she can still go to the mid, right?
I mean, obviously, she can go wherever you want her to be, baby.
Jungle?
Jungle? Yeah, sure, why not?
I don't think so.
Not the most effective, but why not, you know?
Just don't do it.
All right, coming in from Orange Lourve, they're going to finish it off their ban section with a Roger, followed up by Team Bosskurr getting rid of the Lunox as well. So, coming in for first pick from Team Bosskurr, what's it going to be?
No, this is a really big decision. So they get, I was about to say Khalid, but then when they go for the Yutong for themselves here, Khalid is still open in the pool, but whether it fits with their composition or not, it's going to be hard to tell. Kuja has been one of the mad side laners here by far. He can try to opt for it for sure for himself, but do they want to try to prioritize other things like Yi Sun-shin? Selena is still up in the pool, Joyhead as well, if they want to be really aggressive about it. We saw them playing Joyhead once or twice. Not very often, of course.
So their option right now is either they could match the Yuzong with another offlaner, or they could look to just get some kind of flex pick like either Cho or arguably even Jawhead, who might be better at a lower skill cap. Man, that's actually, I realize now that sounds absolutely terrible. So let me rephrase that.
Playoffs and lower skill cast players.
No. It's actually useful to have heroes who are very simple, because then you can play it at its maximum efficiency.
I mean,
compared to like having Cho, where you have to like flick like 3 different directions with 3 different buttons with 3 different positions to kind of get the same effect.
I mean, definitely for sure. But anyway, they're gonna go with the Jawhead and even the Natalia as
the Natalia. Huh.
Sadly, it's not going to be long because it's going to be playing this Natalia. But then again, you know, Long as in SMG, not Orange Lourve Esports. So
Well, you take what you can get.
yeah, you take what you can get, right? When the
Wow.
time comes. But either way, ooh. Oh, I was about to say Altas for accidentally, but then again, this is on Team Bosskurr. So Atlas up for grabs. Wait a minute, hold on.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Hold on.
hold on. So
This is illegal.
no, this is very sus, very suspicious.
One of these heroes is an imposter, and I can't figure out which.
I'm betting it's the Atlas. Totally out of place. Vote Atlas off, please. Oh man, but you know, Orange Lourve Esports. I'm not sure whether they see this, right? Can you imagine if they see this, they'll be like, hey guys, why is it 4?
Why is there 4 of us in the squad already? No, but okay. Assuming one of these probably either didn't get picked or already got picked a little bit early. I'm not entirely sure,
Right.
but we'll figure it out later. Looking on Orange Lourve Esports' side, they finished locking in the Thalmus as well. So it's going to be Thalmus, Jawhead, Natalia up against
Okay, let's okay. I'm
something.
gonna bet Lancelot is not one of the picks. He's probably the sus one. So it's gonna be Eudora, Yutong, and the Atlas, right? Let's just say Atlas gets picked, right? So seeing that the fact that Halcon actually gets banned now, we might potentially see Team Bosskurr actually going to go for the Link pickup if they want to go for it. Oh, sorry. Thank you so much, production. Thank you so much, production. So apparently, I ejected the wrong guy. Atlas is the one that's sus here. He's the bad guy here. He's not supposed to be there. He's the bug.
Yeah.
So okay, so now I take back what I was saying. So it would not be a Link since Lancelot is
they locked in the Eudora as well as the Lancelot in place. Okay, that's fair enough. I can definitely see the benefits
I can
there.
live with that.
Yeah, I can live with that. The Atlas felt kind of like out of place. Like, you know, we've never seen any Atlas. All of a sudden, Atlas within the second rotation is like,
Yeah, but
what's the call for it?
I know, but the reason why I suspected Lancelot is because Atlas looks really cool with that animation there.
Don't lie. You thought it was Lancelot because he was on the far right.
Yeah.
Gotcha, nerd.
Simplicity at its finest, right?
Simplicity truly at its finest. All right, final two bans. Final 2 bans for both of these teams is going to be the Yushin as well as the Cyclops. Interesting. Okay, I can understand that. The Helker as well as the Valir. Helker as well as the Valir. Huh.
Okay, so I get it, alright. So possibly the Valir and the Helka is just possibly just for this Lancelot alone. Because let's be honest, once he dives in, he can mitigate a lot of damage with the Thorn Rolls, but he can only mitigate like 1 or 2 things, right? And once he gets out of it, he's pretty much a done deal. Ooh, Saber! Oh!
And this is the new Saber, by the way. So he's got all that cool stuff where he can like boomerang his blades around and stuff like that. Oh, that's gonna be cool.
And his ultimate hurts a lot now.
Yeah, that's gonna be so much fun because now, I mean, the one thing that hasn't really changed too much is his ult. It's still going to be I'm gonna look at that guy's gonna die.
It's definitely gonna be a fun time for either Natalia or Claude either. Once he gets his hands on top of that too, that's going to be pretty much a done deal as well. Since Natalia is going to be going for that split push too, so the mini saber gets her into his side. That's pretty much a dead deal for her.
Yeah, and now, once again, Orange Lourve Esports making sure that they have everything that they need. They even have bringing out the Kodita as well. So at least they have, you know, multiple targets who aren't necessarily going to be prime targets. The only person who's going to be a prime target is going to be Claude. Natalia's going to be situational.
Right.
Kodita is going to be impossible to catch her because she's just going to go down into the ground. And what are you going to do about that, Saber?
You know, but the thing is, what I'm really worried right now, especially for Orange Lourve Esports actually as well. Sure, they have their primary engagement, that's going to be the Jawhead as well, but he's not really as tank compared to the rest, compared to Kufra or even the Yutong as well. So how this game is going to go, I'm going to assume that Orange Lourve Esports is going to be super aggressive, taking the initiative towards this early game, get that tempo for themselves, maintain it, assert that dominance until the point where Team Bosskurr is unable to turn things around, because if they don't do that, I think Team Bosskurr is actually going to outscale them in this game.
Well, yeah, the early game is really going to be controlled by the supports at this point in time, because again, you don't really have hard initiators, especially at level 1 from both sides, because yes, you have the Jawhead, but you can't expect him to go by himself, and Kodita can only do so much, so I doubt she's going to be paired up with him. Natalia is looking for information. Saber is basically just going to be standing there for a large amount of the game.
But then again, sadly, it is not, Parasite will not be playing the Gushin, but still, Saber's still an assassin class. I just have to be fine with it, I guess.
Yeah, just gotta live with it. Just gotta live with it. It looks like Team Bosskurr is gonna start off with 1-3-1 opening here. Orange Lourve gonna take full advantage onto the bottom side, seeing that it is Saber. Thamus quickly proxies the wave. Up onto the top side, HY inside, up completely obliterating Kaiser. The amount of damage coming out of this man. Woo!
I mean,
that's gonna hurt.
You have to literally respect the claw dash of the Natalia. She's pretty much banned for a reason too as well. When Kuja's gonna be able to force, try to delay this red buff being taken for as long as he can. And not to say he's gonna be able to safely secure one that jungle again, because remember Johet, really great jungler if you actually play him right.
Yeah, and right now you can see that Kucha is taking quite a bit of damage coming in from this Saber. Like, oh no, wait, hold on. HY going in quite hard, and it looks like they're going straight for the dive onto Kaiser. It's a little early, but they are able to manage the aggro of the turret like it's nothing. Great use of the Battle Mirror image coming in from Orange Lourve Esports.
So I love it. This is what I'm talking about. Aggression. Get that early game tempo in control of themselves. And what's even better, they're actually trying to, because they know they may not be able to control that bottom lane, but at least they can manage to secure that top side. But sadly, Kuja on the other hand instantly gets melted down. It's going to be a 1-for-1 for both of his teams here.
I like it. It's a good it's a good mirroring from either side. They both understand it's like, hey, we got to hit the weakest links. And Kuja, he was low, and he put himself in that position. So good on Team Bosskurr, looking for some retribution for their fallen comrade in the top lane.
Definitely much that. Ooh, guys, has to quickly back away. Thankfully enough, he has his Furious Dive, so he's going to be able to back off safely as well. Ooh. Loving that Teresa skin, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely loving it. Now, the way this game I'm expecting it to go is especially I'm especially curious about Team Bosskurr because it feels very reactive with what they're doing so far. They haven't been proactive just yet. They're looking to hit their level 4s first, and once everybody hits level 4, I want to see how much they ramp up this game. Oh wow, the ejector into ejectors. Scott getting absolutely bumped upwards, almost losing all of his life. Kaiser jumps straight onto HY, making sure that he doesn't get a cheeky little cleanup kill.
Cheeky, very cheeky indeed, but it looks like RED Lourve Esports is going to be able to safely secure the first tower inside the game. Kuja on the other hand, definitely not having the fun time against Fakers as instantly comes in with the burst alongside with Sakura as well. Going to be safely securing that one kill for his team. But here comes, nothing to say, with the unstoppable force, but Fakes was able to pop the tower. Probably skill just in time as well, just to mitigate the amount of damage from that unstoppable force.
Yeah, Fake still got it. He timed that perfectly. He perfectly timed that. And overall, I mean, it's going pretty well for either side, but Orange Lourve Esports are on, a faster speed. They're making the moves quicker. They're making the moves more efficient. Team Bosskurr just looking like they're catching up. But now that everybody's hit that level 4 stage of the game, let's see how they are going to ramp things up, because this is their time to shine.
Definitely their time to shine as well, but Orange Lourve Esports, they know that's pretty much why they're currently sticking with themselves, right? They already opened up the top lane. They want to try to look for a little bit more fights. They want to secure this turtle. Either way, turtle's gonna be instantly get started by GG. But sadly, I think GG accidentally resetted the turtle, and now they had to try to he has to redo it again. Scott instantly finds it out. Nothing to say, pausing on Sonic Force. He doesn't care who he catches as long as he catches one. But with the bouncing ball, he's gonna be instantly get cancelled out here. But here comes the re-engage coming from the side of the team. Blind Dragon comes all the way to the back line. Selling out here, friend. Hey, HY instantly gets literally disrupted and cancelled out for alongside with nothing to say. And I believe this is going to be a very free and easy turtle to be taken away by Team Bosskurr.
Yep, Team Bosskurr coming in pretty hard there. Oh, wait, hold on, aim. He quickly goes into his ult. He tries to get out of there, but once again, Yuzong is just sitting right on top of it. Luckily, there are no more minions to kind of save him from that situation and sit under the turret longer. GG now in trouble, forced to use the Blazing Duet, getting auto-attacked to death. Fakes making sure that that puncture passive is going to be used to its maximum effect.
Oh man, but anyway, Nanase gotta be a little careful. He's gonna be walking right into the bush of Scott, but then again, he is just Scott, so it's totally fine. Gonna be doing a couple of skirmishes. HY on it, making sure he's currently out of the range and the sauna as well, because he really want to try to get towards his back line. But there's just too many members of Team Bosskurr that's currently just clumping together to ensure that they would not get picked off by any members. Kuja on the other still doing a great job with that top lane. But you see a beautiful stun and lockdown that's gonna be allowing Face to instantly get a beautiful kill and not too far behind, Parasite was able to assassinate another player. The double assassin comp is working quite well against our Lourve Esports.
Oh, of course it is. And Kuja gets locked into the wall with the Tyrant's Rage, followed up by the perfect execution. There's nothing they could do. Even GG is like, nah, fam, I am out. Do not want to be part of this any more than I should. Orange Lourve Esports really can't seem to find a way to actually get into the team composition now that they have the ultimates. Parisai, he's walking pretty close. He's got the slow. GG turns around with red buff as well, just to ensure that Parisai doesn't go any further.
But this time, Team Bosskurr is right now in the lead, not just in scores, but also in net worth as well by pretty much 2K. But we see that the fact that Team Bosskurr still doesn't really want to assert that dominance, but at the same time, even if they don't assert that dominance, they just pretty much know that they have better engages, better initiators, and when it comes to just instantly silencing a player from the game, they know they have the damage and items to go for it.
Yeah, but they are playing a very responsive game into what Orange Lourve Esports is doing so far. I mean, yes, it is 2-2 when it comes to the Torrents, but you can already see that bottom tier 1, the only reason is that it's alive is that Team Bosskurr has put more priority into it. Nothing to say it gets hit by the initial engagement from Scott, but again, no follow-up from the rest of the team. It looks like they aren't going to dedicate any other resources to ensure his death.
Nothing to say, still holding out towards that tri-brush as well. Kuja on the other hand, HY getting ready to get the go for the pounce if possible. Nothing to say, finds his opening, but suddenly the turtle will be safely secure. Wrong way is going to be coming in as well, but instantly not going to be good enough as Aldir Fred fakes. Just has too much damage, instantly assassinated GG, and the rest of the team instantly has to disengage and fall back to look for a better opportunity.
Yeah, but look at the split push going on. Like every single time they are trying to contest for these minimum objectives. Oh no, he's dead. He's gonna die. Bam, dead. Parisai making sure that he's completely negating this Natalia, punishing her for the fact that she doesn't naturally have a lot of health or defense. So just a point and click weapon there coming in from Saber, that 3-point strike. Woo!
Oh man, the triple strike, 3-point strike, and even with he didn't even use the, if I'm not mistaken, he didn't use the triple sweep either, right? His ultimate?
Oh yeah, he did use the ultimate. That's how he caught her.
Oh.
He's just like, haha, surprise, got you, 1, 2, 3, and just popped my regular S1 and just walked up to you.
Sadly, I guess I missed that out, man.
It just happened so fast.
Yeah, I mean, it happened so fast, and oh no, actually I was drinking water. So yes, definitely for all of our amazing viewers back at home, thank you guys for joining. And of course, don't forget to drink water because a lot of more amazing games happening, and you guys need to cheer up for your team.
Yeah, but so far, I mean, this game has been going pretty okay for Team Bosskurr by far. I don't think Orange Lourve Esports really have an answer to deal with the amount of ultimates. They kind of have to bait out the ultimates from Team Bosskurr, but they're very hard to miss. Like, there's no way Parisai is not going to be able to get the right target with that 3 sweeps. I mean,
definitely for sure. And the worst part as well, nothing to say, with the Unstoppable Force always gets cancelled out by the bouncing ball. It just makes it even more harder for him to get on top of many players. And speaking of getting on top of him, they managed to get on top of Kaiser instantly, locking him down, nuking him around, and make sure that he will not be able to pop off that Black Dragon transformation in time.
Yeah, they have to isolate their targets. Like, Orange Lourve Esports cannot just simply run into the team fight of 5 and expect to win it because their priority, their cores are going to get instantly bursted down. So you just have to play it one step at a time, look at the situation, have that awareness, and kind of play the team fight front to front.
Scott going to be charging up the Tyrant's Revenge, instead jumping into an empty bush, but then again, gives as much information towards his team. Natalia, on the other hand, or in this case, HY, doing quite a great job pushing that ball lane, but he needed to quickly rotate to really assist the team because Natalia gets caught with the Tyrant Race as well. That's pretty big as well, but Aim instantly with the rough race, instantly coming in, has to back off and make sure the rest of the team gone to the big. Unstoppable Force, he gets on top of Face. That was pretty big. That was amazing. And now Team Bosskurr instantly has to rotate back because they know that the majority of the team is not really here and ready to fight this battle.
Wow, that was a really sick play coming in from Nothing to Say. That was legit so sick. But now he walks up, takes all the damage. Now the team can go in. They've got no more ultimates to spare. Nothing to Say he literally lives with 1 HP, and GG, he is going absolutely nuts with his Kuja. He doesn't care anymore. They've got no abilities. Who cares? Kaiser, you can try your best. They're trying to jump on top of him, but even with Saber, he can only do so much with his abilities. Reduce to give it down. Utah, the next to fall, and GG able to pick him up, trying to put his damage in, and look looking to pick up the next kill for himself. He's still 0-1-4. He wants to get that gold.
Definitely wants to get that goal for himself, but Blue is going to be safely secure on the hands of GG. Aim on the other hand, trying to see if he can go for another pickup for the team. Nothing to say. He doesn't really have the flicker, but here comes HY doing significant amount of damage towards Barrel's line. And now the rest of the team has to reset themselves because they know they can't really siege that tier 1 tower just yet.
That was some good play coming in from Orange Lourve Esports. They know that their win conditions is solely based on whether Team Bosskurr uses their ultimates. The moments the ultimates are down, the lockdown is gone, they can go in and there's nothing much they have to fear about because they're so dependent on those abilities.
Yes, but also at the same time, Luck had a play in this game as well, because nothing to say, still alive, by the way.
I think he was expecting to die, to be perfectly honest.
But telling Kuja, I believe he will die in this top lane from that 3-man gang. But that's totally fine because Kuja did an amazing job. He already forced out the entire lane and very close towards the top inhibitor as well.
Yeah, they had to use 2 full ults to make sure he dies. And you know, that's the big deal. Oh, Sakura in trouble. HY picks him up. Oh, Fakes is able to get the return kill. Not too bad. Nothing to say. Can't really do too much about it. Unfortunately, GG getting one shot by Parisai. Oh my goodness.
I told you, man, the triple sweep is painful, man. It hurts. It really hurts. And he's an assassin as well. So the fact that he was able to assassinate out the marksman here, really great pick. It's going to be allowing them to safely secure this Lord. But Aim has another thing to say about it as he instantly nukes down Fakes with the rough waves. And sadly, the skills will not be able to connect, so he instantly has to back off. The Lord get reset. Well played coming up from Aim. The man bringing in the pain.
Wow, this guy's reaction time. How did he? Wow. Okay, let me just recap this. Let me just recap this. My brain just cannot function. Hold on. 3 sweeps coming in into nothing to say. He's trying to get out of the turret range, but finally Kaiser is able to hit him back. Oh. Alright, so first of all, Aim goes in, he picks up a kill. Alright, looking pretty good. Scott comes flying through with the Tyrant's Revenge, completely misses, uses the flickers in Tyrant's Rage to try and grab somebody off the guard, does complete, and doesn't actually get it because Aim was able to slide on out of the Lord Pit itself. Oh my goodness, that reaction time, I literally cannot believe it.
I told you, Aim is a small criminal, you know? He's making Michael Jackson's go and pretty much back in the grave.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I just completely missed out what happened on screen. I'm still in such shock with this kid's freaking reaction time. I cannot believe it.
Dude, it's just really amazing stuff that Aim is really bringing inside this game because he totally understands that someone has to step up because Team Bosskurr is just now was in the lead. He stepped up. He showed what needs to be done, and now his team pretty much, I wouldn't say even things out, but they managed to bring it back, slowly catching up towards Team Bosskur's net worth here.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing a good job. They've evened it out. Even though the kill score is, 5 kills down, not a big deal. I mean, it's 32.8k to 32.3, 500 difference, not a big deal.
Oh no, Scott's gonna be charging up that Tyrant Revenge, gonna not be able to connect at all, but Aim's able to dash back and forth, but with the Eudora, with Sakura in his face, sadly Aim will not be able to get out of that kind of situation.
Yeah, this is starting to become really tough because the ultimates are taking, the ultimates are, are really short cooldown for some of the, Kaiser getting absolutely shredded by GG. The problem right now is that GG can't survive long enough to actually get his full potential of damage out, and he can't seem to get those kills as well, so that's slowing him down just a wee bit.
Dude, I love it. GG just now, while doing a little bit of damage towards Kaiser, his spy senses kicked in and he instantly backed off because he knows that something's not right with that brush.
Something's up with it. HY, he gets caught out. Sakura, he sensed it. He's like, something didn't feel right. Nothing to say. He's trying to walk up. Could they actually go for the steal here? Potentially unstoppable force going all the way to the back. Nothing to say is going to get on top of Scott, but that's not going to be enough. HY gets a cheeky kill there. Big ult coming in. Nothing to say. Once again, finds another opportunity to take out Scott as well as Sakura in the process. GG unable to pick up the kill in time.
By the way, Aim is here. He sees an opening. He wants Parasite. There's a flicker, the ejected combo. Here comes HY instantly with the rough waves. Aim once again washes him away.
Oh man, this is just a game of who can one-shot who faster. Like, Parisite is making sure GG is not having a fun time in this game. He's already died to him 3 times because of that friggin' ult, so what can he do?
That's actually what I'm really concerned right now, right? So Parisite, the minute he commits his ultimate, assassinates one person. That's pretty much all he can pretty much do, right? Because, but let's be honest, like, sure, his right-click damage is painful, but it's not as like detrimental compared to his ultimate, which literally can just one-shot GG inside every.
His what?
His ultimate.
Before that, his what?
His
right-click damage?
Yeah, his right-click damage. No, I said auto damage.
Nah.
I said auto attack.
I'm watching you.
You caught me once back in regular season. It will never happen again.
Easy Master Race boy. I'm on to you. I can smell it. I can smell that GTX off of you.
Yeah. Sorry, it's RTX, boy.
Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, let's look back into this game. Currently, I mean, both sides are really taking their time because, again, it really is a game of one-shots. Nobody has an opportunity to really react, well, except the aim, of course. But let's see whether he can do it one more time because, again, no real objectives have been taken from either side. Nobody can seem to find any leeway because it's such a back and forth.
I mean, literally it just comes down to not who just nukes down who first. It's pretty much who catches who first. It all comes down to literally just for the hand of Lourve Esports is whether or not to say he's going to make that one amazing play. Because let's be honest, the only time aim can actually dive into nuke someone is where he just knows that the fact that he would not get nuked down first before engaging the rest of the team.
Yeah, but that still doesn't solve the problem of what GG is facing right now. He can't get into Okay, all right, that's 1, 2 ultimates already down, 3 ultimates already down. This is going to be a big game. HY, he buys a little bit of time. He gets one shot almost straight away by Parisite. And the rest of the team, Kaiser, they're pulling in through, and they're trying to lock GG into place. And now this is bad. Kaiser right in the smack of it. Finds 2. GG turns over with a battle mirror image. This is what they've been waiting for. Lourve Esports trying to turn this around, trading 1 for 1, looking good, but unfortunately Eudora found his number. 3 for 1. Team Bosskurr find a way to disrupt the formation of Lourve Esports and are hitting harder than ever.
Ooh, Kuja is gonna be a little bit careful as well. Ultimate is gonna be thrown down once again by the Eudora, but then again, even though Team Bosskurr won that fight there, they instantly have to back off because Lourve Esports, or Kuja in this case, did a both Kuja and HY did a phenomenal job pushing out, ensuring that both of the side lanes will be pushed in, and Team Bosskurr knows that even without having the minion waves in the mid lane, they have to back off.
See, the problem is right now is that Lourve Esports have realized, yeah, we're at quite a significant disadvantage because we can't necessarily force out ultimates from Team Bosskurr, and the only person who can really absorb it is Nothing to Say. Everybody else dies in just 1 hit.
You know, honestly, I thought it was really fantastic for Orange, man. I was like, hey, Nothing to Say still alive, pop 3 ultimates. I'm like, this is the moment. And then HY gets caught from the back line. I'm like, yeah.
I mean, it was an attempt to kind of split up the composition of Team Bosskurr because it depends on who has that, you know, solid formation of having your main tanks in front, people who want to absorb the damage, and everybody else who's just waiting for the right opportunity to catch out the cores. Nobody is looking to flank because if you're isolated, you're basically as good as dead.
I mean, definitely for sure. By the way, HY once again, Kuja doing what he does best, going with the split push towards his bottom lane, ensuring before they actually try to engage towards his Luminous Law. However, Scott is going to be able to find aim, and this might be a little bit too risky for him as well. Pop the wrong way just to try to back off. Face on the other, finds GG, goes to the Thorn Rose, finds by GG, still alive, popping the Blazing Duet, and thankfully enough, he will be able to survive this. But however, I don't think he's going to be sticking around long enough to actually try to reduce this Luminous Law. But thank God for Kuja.
Just disrupt them.
Pushing, he's holding them on and making sure they actually try to get away from the Luminous Law. Kaiser finds it, goes for the Furious Dice, and they would not be able to connect. And Kuja, within movements, he's going to be able to back off. But look at it, 3 members currently isolated from the rest of the team as well. Eudora is currently on the way, but Sally fakes, barely alive, instantly gets popped off, and GG has the Blazing Duet and getting ready to jump right back into the mix once again.
Oh no, Parisite, he used his ult already. GG, he's sick of it. He's done with it. You can literally see the legitimate fear of him using his battle mirror image over the wall, and the moment Parisite drops his ult, you know it's over for him.
Oh man, this is really great as well. But anyway, Luminous Lord gonna be safely secured, hopefully in this case, unless Scott decides to make a play. But AIM just doing a phenomenal job, just trying to chase him away. So Luminous Lord safely secured, and now Lourve Esports finally turning things around. The comeback is real, ladies and gentlemen, and let's see whether they will be able to close things out.
Oh man, they sent way too many people to deal with Kuja there. Way too many people. Yuzong was already enough. They didn't need to send Sakura, and unfortunately, that just meant 3 of their members absolutely getting destroyed.
Just a really tough one to see, but either way, still waiting for the Lord to be summoned out. Bottom lane slowly being pushed out alongside with the top side. Mid lane naturally being pushed in, but Scott was able to find AIM. AIM no chance had to pop the ultimate with the wrong place. But suddenly Scott literally gets abandoned by the rest of the team here. But he still has his immortality, so he's going to be eventually coming back. But they're playing for another long as the knockout will secure his fate.
Huh. All right. So that happened. I'm kind of interested because they didn't see GG for a decent amount of time. So they had 1 or 2 options. Either stand in a position where they can actually force out Orange Lourve Esports to back away or completely give him up. And they decided to just completely give him up. I don't know if that was 100% the right decision because I definitely think they could have been able to get the pick, especially off of Kadita.
But anyway, Divine Glaive going to be picked up from AIM as well, so it's going to be doing even more damage. But anyway, going to be a little bit too close to comfort as well, but mid inhibitor eventually will fall. Parasite getting a little bit too close to comfort, but he is confident he's going to be able to escape out of that kind of situation. GG, looking at the rest of the team, trying to hit the throne for themselves, but suddenly GG gets caught off guard again, but thankfully he has to see with the Blazing Duet coming in, instantly popping things off. Sakura is dead for the count. Scott 2 seconds away, but Orange Lourve Esports goes for the throne, and they end this game with a comeback. Ladies and gentlemen, they clear things out with 2-0. Well played, Orange Lourve Esports.
Game one, fair enough, Orange Lourve Esports won, but it's not like, you know, any big of a deal. But that second game, they definitely should be proud of. They were at such a disadvantage. It's unbelievable how they just macroed their way out of it. And Team Bosskurr, they basically were just rolling the dice, not even really rolling the dice, it's just making sure that they could kind of balance it out. But it's time to throw it over to the Atlas. Lafell.
Hello, thank you English and Malay casters. Ya, dekat situ kita boleh nampak di mana Orange Lourve Esports berjaya untuk menang 2-0, but it was not an easy win. They definitely put out their best show over there, and it's a common complaint that many Bosskurr fans, they're like, we don't care that you lose, but we want you to lose fighting. So dekat dalam game ni, I rasa the Bosskurr fans, diorang kena ada sedikit rasa lega sebab yes, Bosskurr kalah. Tapi diorang kalah dengan cara yang sangat-sangat, I would say, in a very good way. So, tanpa melengahkan masa, kita akan tengok highlight yang dibawakan khas oleh Yudo untuk nampak apa yang terjadi dekat dalam game tadi. Pada bahagian awal game, kita nampak Kaiser, dia sentiasa ditarget. Honestly, satu pilihan yang bagus daripada Orange Lourve Esports. Dan Scott, unfortunately dekat game ni, dia susah sangat nak tangkap AIM. Okay? AIM yang gunakan Karita dekat sini, very, very difficult. Tapi Turtle ni, pada the first game, I dah cakap, Bosskurr diorang dengan... Okay, so dekat sini kita boleh nampak di mana Kujan masuk daripada tepi disebabkan dia nampak, okay, ada banyak HP yang sedikit, maybe aku boleh buat something, but... Pause dekat sini. Okay, as you guys can see tadi, sebenarnya HP Turtle belum level critical lagi, and the thing is, Karita punya rough waves, dia punya burst damage is comparable to the damage yang apa nama dia, Lancelot punya Thorn Rose and Retribution. Basically, Fakers dia buat terlampau awal. Alright, tinggal lagi 200 atau 300 HP dekat Turtle, and then Rough Waves. Honestly, apa-apa skill pun dah boleh curi, tapi Rough Waves memang dia punya burst damage besar, so katakan dia terawal apa-apa skill pun, dia second skill ataupun dia punya retry, Karita dah boleh curi. And after this, Bosskurr terus shut down. So kita terus tengok kita punya highlight dekat sini where Bosskurr made very critical mistakes. Antaranya Fakers kat sini, dia tak patutnya terus mengejar. He's like, okay, aku punya Lord kena curi, I punya Turtle kena curi, I'm going to kill you. But it's really a bad situation. And I dah cakap, tim Bosskurr antara kelemahan diorang ialah diorang punya neutral objective. Maksudnya Lord dengan Turtle. Kita pause dekat sini juga where kalau you guys perasan, Bosskurr macam takkan tengok bush dekat sini sebab dah 2 orang daripada Orange Lourve Esports. Satu AIM yang menggunakan kereta, lagi satu HYHY yang menggunakan Natalia. Dua-dua tunggu dekat bush ni, and ini yang menyebabkan tim Bosskurr kalah dekat diorang punya team fight. Like, this is a very critical